shall see. Good afternoon. Welcome to my daily Facebook Live. My name is Barry Selby, and for those who don't know me, I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert. And I help strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. I'm also a passionate champion for the divine feminine. And today's topic, I was watching a video earlier which speaks to this a little bit, and I want to put my own spin and my own perspective and my own edit to this, because this is something that's been brewing for a while for me in the work I do and what I've observed. So before I get to that, if you haven't seen my broadcast before, these are daily Facebook Live talks called Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. This is number 274. Keep going. And today's one I want to talk about is this topic around the demonization of men and the damage it causes. And I'm speaking from, in some ways, being a bit of an outsider, and I'll explain that in a moment, and the challenges we face. So let me put this on the table. There's a lot that's come up with the metoo conversation, Time's Up, with what's going on with sexual harassment, with a lot of the things that have been showing up as, I would suspect, being breaking points, or breaking through, perhaps, of things that aren't working anymore, and rightfully so. There's two things going on that I'm aware of. Two of many things going on, but two pieces in particular I want to talk about. One is the retaliation against men in general for specific incidents that happened to women since the Me Too conversation started, and I'll get to that in a moment. First, which is the history, which basically means, now I've got to be careful I say this, I'm not excusing any behavior, just to be clear about that. But I am going to talk about how some men end up being certain ways based upon their upbringing. We men, and I include myself in this, I would say, unless you're under 20 years old, probably never had any emotional education, never had any emotional support, and we didn't have any way of being able to completely understand how we operate inside. As most of you men and women know, women are, it's been said, women are more emotional than men. That's not quite true. I would say, in fact, that men are just less emotionally expressive than women. And there's a big difference. I'm very clear, I'm watching what's happening lately with what's been going on with the shooting down in Florida, with the suicide rate. There's so many pieces of this puzzle, but basically what I'm trying to say is this. For many of us men, we weren't raised with the ability to express our emotions and to rise above our own inner demons. And so the demonization of men, in some ways, is self-inflicted, because we have been unwilling as men to own up to our power. And I don't mean macho, bullish power, but I mean authentic, heart-based power, because men have not been invited to speak from the heart. Most men were raised to ignore that and speak from their dicks or from their heads, which is what's caused the results we're dealing with right now. And there's a big challenge here, in some sense, because for some men, there's no way back. I'm grateful for myself that I started this personal growth journey back in the mid-'80s, and frankly, it ruined a lot of my dating life because I was so in an emotional transformation experience early on in my journey in the personal growth seminar business arena, because I was discovering that I actually had a heart. And that was actually, thankfully, in my late 20s. So you figure out my age from that, I know. but there was a shift that happened inside of me in that journey that really opened me up to a place of, I won't say surprise, but a place of, and in some ways confusion, in some ways a sense of, I was trying to think what it wasn't conflict. It was almost surprised in a way, because I suddenly discovered I had a whole resource inside of me that was emotionally based that I'd never faced before, at least not consciously or intentionally. I'm firmly of the belief that we as kids, boys, are just as emotional as the girls are, except, and this is the thing that comes up, it's in the movie The Mask We Wear. We are told to man up. You know, you're a boy, don't cry. Only sissies cry. Only girls cry. Boys don't cry. Be a man. Suck it up. All this type of stuff was basically told to most boys, probably at least from the age of 10 and up, if not sooner. So for us as men, we've been informed, and hi Michelle, good to see you here, and McCall and Cindy's here, Rose in here, thanks for watching by the way. We as very young kids were diverted from the same path as the girls were. Girls were allowed to be expressive. In fact, it was encouraged, because for girls, generally speaking, again, I'm not talking about individual cases, but generalizations, most girls weren't given restrictions like the boys were to toughen up and to suck it up and hold it in, not express, not be emotional, because boys don't cry. It's kind of the rules. There's a book, actually, I've got to order it. It was on Amazon. I saw about it. I think it's called Boys Don't Cry. And it's a story about how a psychologist did a lot of studies about men and women and boys and girls and how we were raised. So let me jump back into this before I go too far off my detour. So as adults, for many men, accessing our heart to be able to connect to a place deeper than our head or our dick is almost impossible. I'm grateful that I've had the chance to do so. As I said, it messed up my love life because I was so out of alignment with my true, authentic nature. No, let me say it differently. I don't mean that way. I was so not being a macho man, let me be clear about that, that I wasn't hitting off with the women because I was actually discovering a whole new level of expression of myself. Now it comes from the other side of it. Well, 10, 12 years ago, when I understood the masculine-hearted man as the power that we can be in a very service, legacy-driven mindset that's much more powerful than the macho man, which is, I've talked about this before, the macho or the undeveloped masculine versus the masculine man or the developed masculine, which is a whole different paradigm. So, tying this together, let me jump to the other side, the other piece of it in a moment, which is the reactionary stuff that's happened since the Me Too conversation. Ladies, for many ladies out there, many women out there, you look at all men the same way that you look at the one man who hurt you. I understand why. And I also understand how painful it can be. But the recognition is that for us men, we often get painted with a brush that doesn't belong to us. We get painted with a label that isn't true. Just because we're men doesn't mean we're the same as those other men. Some women look at every man as being another Weinstein or another whoever, and it's a slight against us. Even though for some men, it's a hidden secret from the past that's being brought forward because they did their own thing when they were younger too. So I'm asking on behalf of the men, I'm going to say, I've got to be careful I say this so I'm clean, who are maybe more innocent, certainly more, less, trying to frame this in the right way. Thank you, Al, I appreciate that. On behalf of the men who have either held back, been suppressed, or simply said, we won't do what other men are doing, Palmer says, I'd appreciate if you let us off the hook. That's not the way I want to mean it, but it's kind of what the feeling is. I would say, be accurate in your accusations. I'll say it like that. Now, there are many men who have hurt women, and I'm aware of that. I've got a lot of my clients and a lot of my female friends have shared stories of abuse from fathers, from boyfriends, from brothers, from uncles, from all sorts of different men in their lives. And I feel for them. It's part of my coaching, part of my work is helping them heal that pain. But it makes it hard for them to trust any other man. And I understand, again, that is challenging because if you can't trust men in your own family, it becomes very challenging to trust any other man outside of the family. So I understand how the feeling and the programming, the belief that gets set up inside at a young age. So that's what the women are dealing with, I know. And I'm speaking to a very clear piece about this because then also the other side way around where men have been abused and hurt by other men in their family, even women in their family. So they have their own painful memories that they're dealing with and healing as well. So I guess what I would like to say, kind of bring this to a whatever that is, this thing, a point together, which is when you demonize everyone, you hurt 90% of the people. there are many men who deserve to be I want to say prosecuted, but that's not necessarily the right word, but need to pay the price for the sins they've done against anybody else, other men, other women. But for many men out there, and I like to include myself in that, we're not part of that we're not part of that wrongdoing. And it's I'm trying to frame this in the right way. What I want to say for myself personally, me, Barry, I have memories of where I've been impolite to women. I have memories of when I have been thinking things I shouldn't think about women, and just to be real about that. So I know that for all, I would guess that all men, straight men, let's say that, whether they've said it out loud or put it in their thoughts, they've had derogatory things about women in their awareness. They've said, thought, believed. For that, I'm apologizing for myself. And it's taking, I think, this is what comes up, it's time for us men to step up and speak together as brothers to call our own selves accountable, both to each other and to the women we've hurt, but also to bring to account those men who won't or haven't been willing to step into a more vulnerable and humble place. How that's going to happen, I don't know. But there's a feeling that may need to happen. Because part of the healing that's going to be happening is for all of the men to change how they focus. Now, the piece that just dropped in is the fact that a lot of these men who do this behavior, as I mentioned earlier with the boys don't cry part, is that a lot of the men who perpetrated these heinous acts on women, whether it's abuse, sexual harassment, or even rape, for many of those men, they came through or from a upbringing that was extremely detrimental to themselves. A lot of times behaviors are propagated by hereditary behavior from parent to child and so on. So a lot of boys grew up to be men who didn't know how to treat women, didn't know how to respect. Now, I'm not excusing their behavior, as I said, but just to be aware that a lot of these behaviors don't come from the person themselves as much as they were influenced by the way they were raised. Does that mean you should go shoot the parents? No. Just be clear about that. But just be aware of the fact that none of us truly know what the other person's story is. This is true in a relationship, it's true in business, it's true in politics. Yeah, even politics. That we can presume we know things about other people, but we don't. So my recommendation to you is to treat everyone uniquely. Trust your own intuition, your own insight, your own wisdom. I talked about this yesterday, I think. Yeah, I did. I talked about this yesterday about intuition. Be willing to explore and find out what somebody's about. Don't always take other people's opinion about that person as truth. It might be, it might not be. But when you jump into the metoo conversation where you are agreeing with everybody else that men are wrong as a global population, you're making a huge assumption. And not to excuse certain men, but we as individuals, as human beings, deserve to be measured on our own merits. That goes for men and for women. It's interesting. I was looking to see if that was what came up. So I'm just putting it out there. I don't know if you have anything you want to throw in there. I'm just thank you, Eileen, for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. This is a deeper conversation, I know, and I just had this impetus to say this about this. And watching a video earlier today, and I've forgotten the name of the woman who does these videos. I watch quite a lot of them. She's very educational. Good scripts, by the way. There's a piece that was about this topic about the demonization of men. I want to speak to that in my own experience. I think there's something else coming through. Excuse me whilst that comes through. I'm just waiting for something. There's a piece showing up. So, thank you, Artie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. We need more men like you doing such talks and workshops. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, these daily Facebook Lives are almost as my addiction, because sometimes it's hard to do them, so it's not that way, but it's a certain desire to speak and express and share and inform and educate and inspire and entertain. That's a good list. those people who want to watch these. So thank you for that feedback. And please share these out with anybody who thinks should watch these. Yes, if there's anybody, by the way, you think should watch this, please share this out with them, either live or in the replay. So it's so resonating for me and my daddy issues and my relationship issues. I understand. I've shared on men. I've been on, just so you know, I've been on probably 43 now, 44 video telesummits as a featured expert, and so many times the story's been asked about where did I come from, what started this journey, and I talk about my own upbringing being so emotionally unavailable. Not in a bad way, because it was the stoic English way of being, stiff upper lip and everything. So I didn't really know about, it was okay for us as boys, my brother and I, to express emotions, because my dad didn't show almost any emotion. And it wasn't an issue with him as much, it just wasn't there. I mean, the emotion wasn't there, he was there. It wasn't until much later on when I realized that I was destroying all my relationships or ending them because I didn't have an understanding that upsets could work in a relationship and the relationship wouldn't end necessarily, because I believed that if you didn't have love all the way through without upsets, you couldn't have a relationship. It was the wiring I had. So generation trauma pervades all my relationships and it's desperate to break these patterns, yeah. From one brick born to another. Thank you. You're welcome, Adi. Yeah, this is the work I've done. I mean, I've been through this journey. I've healed this piece and continue healing this stuff. The truth is that if you're somebody who's awake and aware, keep going. If you're woken up to the idea that there's some things you don't have working in life the way you want to, get help. If you feel that there's stuff that you haven't expressed and you feel like if you do express it, you might hurt somebody, find a way to do it safely. Whether you do it privately or written or some other way. If you feel that you have a missing piece, you don't know what it is, again, get help. There are plenty of people out there who know enough stuff to help you get where you want to go. It's the work I do too. And after being this journey for 30 plus years, I know for one thing, I'm not done yet. That's the good news and the bad news. It keeps going. So this trauma can only be healed with more men opening up, telling their stories and doing what you did, apologizing, getting help. Yeah, it's true. I'm grateful for a lot of the stuff that's happened for me over the last, let's say, 30 plus years. And this work in a way for me is part of my giving back, not necessarily out of a what's the word I'm looking for? It's giving out of gratitude. It's not giving up. It's not giving back out of guilt. Let's be clear about that. There was something else that's coming through. What was it? Stay here with me. I'll get to that point in a moment. There was a piece in there. Sometimes it doesn't come through. Here's my invitation. And I think I've already said it, but I'll say it another way. If you or someone you know is challenged by the history and it's playing into the present moment, know that's what's happening and have some compassion for them, because they may or may not know they're doing it. You may be able to see it. For you ladies watching, as I said earlier, we men didn't have necessarily, for most of us, an experience when we were younger that emotional expression was okay. So our emotions can be bottled up, they can be convoluted, they can be really messed up inside. And so when we express to women like you, we might be less expressive, capable, and aligned to what we really mean. So sometimes it's good if you hear something from your male partner, your male friends, to give them feedback and ask, did you mean what you said? As in, I heard you say this, is that what you meant? Because sometimes it's best to confirm what they said before you assume what they said is what the truth is. That's true in every communication. That works both ways, by the way, for men and women. If you don't like what your partner said to you, it's good for you sometimes to check in and say, what I thought you said was this, is that what you meant? Because if it is what they meant, then you can choose to react accordingly. Eileen would say, as a mother of two boys, I can see how the mother-son relationships have so much impact. As someone who has lots of reasons to be a man hater, I feel that there are so many beautiful men out there who are lost. And then it says, see more. I don't know if I can do that from here. I can, hey. Lost in the swath of particular feminism. We need equality, we need role models and teachers so men can heal and something else. I'll jump in on that because, yes, okay, I got to say it. Damn, I knew this was going to come up. Well, I didn't know it was going to come up. For those who know me, know my service and coaching and my work is supporting women. It's a passion of mine to help women heal their hearts and attract amazing relationships, but mostly it's being whole, healed heart, strong and fearless in their feminine. What I'm also aware of is that to make that really work, I need to also help men who are stuck or confused or conflicted themselves. And even though I don't advertise at my work, I have helped men along the way too. And it's like I may need to do more of that. Just to be a compassionate brother to men who have been challenged over the years by their own upbringing or experiences. So that was the piece I had to say. Okay, now I've said it. I think that is about it. Again, if you know anybody should watch this for whatever reason that you find there's value in it for them, please share it with them. If you haven't seen my other broadcasts, I do these every day. This is my daily Facebook Live, Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. This is number 274, so there's a lot of these out there now. You can find them all on my business page on Facebook, which is barryselby.author. Also on my website, which is barryselby.com. Click on the video blog to watch there. And also on my website, you can find out about me, and you can reach out if you want help in your relationship, romance, understanding masculine, feminine, polarity, etc. And also my YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby, is my user handle. And thank you, Michelle. And yeah, the channel, my user handle on all my social media is Barry Selby. So go to YouTube, look for Barry Selby, and click on the playlist for Messages from the Masculine. You can see all my broadcasts there. If you are stuck in their relationship romance and you want some help, please reach out to me over social media or on my website. And be gentle with yourself. That's my assignment for you tonight or today. I usually invoke or invite you to take care of yourselves. Particularly though, I think especially tonight, what I'm feeling for myself is be gentle with yourself tonight. Give yourself a break. Give yourself permission to be real. And give yourself permission to heal. I'll be back in tomorrow with another broadcast. I invite you to take care of yourselves as always. And thank you for watching. And share this out wherever you feel somebody should watch this. Take care. Bye.